Hey everyone, we're about to make these cute little moccasin types footy socks. So cute. What we're going to need to start, we're going to need a pair of scissors, a size 4.25 crochet hook. We'll also need a darning needle. We'll need a couple stitch markers. I'm using loops, one skein of loops and threads, facets yarn in the color Vivid. Okay, I love how this feels. Okay, and you'll also need your 48 pin or 46 pin Centro or Addy, and you'll also need a 22 pin Centro or Addy. All right, let's get started. Okay, first we're going to weave on our yarn. We do not need waste yarn to start, so we're going to weave on all 48 hooks. Okay, after we weave back and forth, we're going to put it through our yarn feeder and through the tension, the first tension hook. This is very, very light yarn, so you know whatever tension is best for the yarn you're using. But I'm going to put it through the first hook for this. Now we're going to go 50 rows. Now this is the size of my foot, so 50 rows is good. I wear a size 8 in women, so it's good for that. They're pretty stretchy, but if your foot is bigger than that, I would go 60, 70. It all depends. If you have a smaller foot, go 40. But 50 is perfect, okay? Size 7, 8 is what I wear. But again, they're socks, so they stretch pretty well. So we're going to go, for my moccasin, we are going to go 50 rows. Meet me back here after you've done your 50 rows for your sock. Okay, so now that we have 50 rows, what we're going to do is we're going to cut our yarn. We're going to lay it in the middle, and then we're going to get some waste yarn for this end of our sock. So we'll feed it in. Go underneath that hook. I usually put both of mine underneath the same hook. That way nothing comes undone. And we'll do about 7 rows of waste yarn. All right, so we'll get this yarn, put it inside, put this waste yarn inside, and we'll take this off because we're finished with one sock. Now you want to go ahead and do this twice. So I recommend that you make 2 50-row panels. Make 2 50-row panels. And then meet me here so that we can start making our socks. All right, we do have the base for our sock, and what we're going to do is we're going to close this end of the sock. That's why we have waste yarn on it, and then we're going to scrunch the end of this sock. So let's go ahead and close out this will be the heel of our sock. So we'll get our crochet hook. We'll go underneath 2. We're going to bring this side underneath here, and then we'll go to the opposite side and pull that under there. Then we'll go to this side, pull it under. We'll go to this side, pull it under. Go to this side. So we'll go back and forth, pulling the string under. Oh, but make sure that your 2 strings, your waste yarn and your regular yarn strings, are at the opposite end of where you're starting. Okay, because we'll need these strings to close the gap. All right, so back to this. We're going back and forth, back and forth until we get to the end. Once you practice this, you'll get the habit. It'll move really fast. We're just closing it up. Meet me back here when you've closed up the end of your sock. Okay, as we get to the end, I'm gonna do the last couple of strands with you. I like to pull on them to see. It's our last two right here. I like go overboard to make sure I have each and every one because you do not want it to come undone. I'll do this one as well. And then I'll take my regular yarn strand here and pull it through this last loop. Like that. Boom. So we have it closed, and then we'll take the yarn off. Where are we at? Oh, there we go. Now we'll unwind the yarn. And take it off of the edge of, take the waste yarn off, I'm sorry. And pull and pull and pull and pull until it's all off of your project. And there we go. So we have one closed end, we have one open end, and what we're going to do is we're going to close this end, okay? So we're going to pull on this string of yarn that we have, and make sure as you're pulling, you begin to tuck the scrunched end inside, so you can have like a little pout, like a little, you know, it'll be scrunched in, it won't be sticking out. And then we'll use our yarn needle to secure this. I'm gonna cut this yarn, it was pretty long. And then we'll use our yarn needle, go back and forth around to secure this. So securing it kind of look like this. We'll go through our darning needle. I love the ones with the curve, they're everything. But yeah, just go around it. Around your, this will be the toe. Securing your toe. All right, and then we'll get to the heel. Yep, and then you'll hide your yarn in between. You'll hide this in between your project. I like to go low down. Boom. Okay, this is how your sock should look for right now. Now we're going to fold it in half so we can create the heel. Okay, so we'll fold it in half. We'll go to the corner of our heel. We're going to thread our darning needle with our yarn. This yarn by Loops and Threads is so pretty. They have so many different ombres and shades that you definitely should try it if you're making this sock. But we're going to just go back and forth down the heel to close it up. Nothing special. Back and forth until we reach the end. Like that. Okay, one more. And then when you reach the end, we do not want to have a pointy, we don't want to have a pointy end to our foot. So what we're going to do is we're going to lay it out and we're going to fold it like a little triangle here. And then we're going to sew that onto the edge of our sock like this. See that? And we're just gonna go around to secure it. And I'm gonna go over here and secure it as well on both sides of the triangle. And then I'm gonna tie a knot. And what I like to do is I like to go back up so that I can tie the knot up here. So work your needle back up the sock just to secure your heel, and then tie off your thread at the end. I'm going to put this through here a couple more times. Back this way. We're going to snip this yarn here, and we're going to secure it by tying a knot like this. I'm going to do it twice. All right, now we can get to, you see how that looks? Now your heel isn't pointy. It's like a shoe. All right. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to count 20 on each side of my, I'm going to count 20 on each side, and I'll show you why and get my stitch marker. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I'm going to put my stitch marker right here at 20. And then I'm going to do 20 on this side as well, because that's where my foothold is going to be. That's, you know, big enough for my foot. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're going to do 20 right here. Put a stitch marker in it. All right, so this is going to be the opening of my shoe. So now what we're going to do is we are going to single crochet starting from the tip all the way up to our right before our 20. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to find out where we're starting at. We're going to start with these two here. Luckily my colors match up on the opposite side, so it's easy for me to find the match. I'm going to bring my crochet hook, bring my yarn through. I'm going to bring both of those pieces of yarn through here like that, tighten them up, and I'm going to single crochet on through both ends all the way to my stitch markers. So just try to make sure you have your two lined up. See, I'm bringing it through, single crochet all the way down the edge, I mean the sock. It's going to create a cute little line at the top. Now you can also do a mattress stitch if you want a seamless look at the top, but I love the way the little line looks down the front. So cute. So I'm doing a single crochet, but if you want to do it a mattress stitch, you could do that. Definitely check out some YouTube videos on how to do a mattress stitch, and then you'll have a seamless stitch up. But I love the little crochet stitch. So meet me back when you get to your stitch markers. Okay, so on the last one we're going to slip stitch, and then we're going to close it out. I like to leave a little length so that I can have enough to hide it with my darning needle, but that's how it looks, you know. Boom, so cute, right? All right, now we're about to get to this, to the 22 needle centro, but for all of those who All right, so this is how you should look right now after you put your stitch up the center, and you're going to stop at your stitch markers. It becomes a little sock. But we're about to do the second part of this sock on the 22 needle centro. But for those who don't have a 22 needle centro, I have a video coming soon where I'll show you how to do the ruffle. It's basically the same thing, but you don't have to have the 22 needle centro. You can just make your sock with the ruffle around the edge, and they are so cute, right? So I'll make another video showing how to do the ruffle sock. But right now we're just going to finish this moccasin. So let's get our 22 needle knitting machines. Okay, so we're going to add some waste yarn to our 22 needle knitting machine. We're going to go back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, back, forward, all the way around. And we're going to do about 7 rows of this yarn. Oops, I was sitting on my yarn. Yeah, so we're going to do about 7 rows of this. And then we'll add on our regular yarn. I forget to count because I'm so used to using my my centro where it already has the counter on it, but I'll just go until I feel comfortable. Maybe a couple more rounds. Okay, we'll snip that, put that in the middle, and then we'll grab our other yarn and we'll get started. So after I put 7 rows of waste yarn, let me go up a little bit. After I put 7 rows of waste yarn on, we're going to get the yarn, the same yarn we were using, and we are going to go 40 rounds. And I'll tell you why we're going to do 40 or whatever, however many stitches your opening is for your sock, you need to go that many rows. Okay, so for mine it's 20 on each side, so I'm going to do 40. So now this I'm going to have to count. So 40 rows. 1, 2, 3. Meet me here after your 40 rows. Okay, so now that we have our 40 rows, I am going to snip it here, take the yarn, put it through, put it in the center, and we're going to get some more waste yarn to close out our end here. We're going to do about 7 rows of waste yarn. Uh-oh. Scissors. All right, and we're going to do our 7 rows of waste yarn, and then we're going to take it off of the machine. So once you do your 7 rows, we're going to take it off the machine. And meet me here when you finish. Okay, here's our 40 rows. Now this is going to act as, after we close off the ends, because we're going to have to close off each end, but just for you to know, this is going to be the ankle part of our sock. Okay, so that's why we needed 40 rows, because it has to match up with our opening here. Okay. So again, we're going to close off our ends like we did the heel, you know, going back and forth until it closes up, and do the same thing on the other side. Back and forth until it's closed. Okay, meet me here when you have your closed off ankle. Okay, so now that we have our cuff or ankle portion, what we're going to do is we are going to fold it in half, and we're going to sew it together up the edge. I left some string on the edge of mine so that I can just attach this, and I can put my darning needle through and just sew back and forth, and I don't have to get any more yarn. So I left a decent size. So if you're thinking ahead, just leave a nice amount of yarn. If not, you know, just grab some more yarn, sew it through. I might not have enough yarn. See how short it's getting? Oops. But I'll figure it out. It's going to be enough today. But we're going to go all the way up the edge of this until we have our little cuff. I made it difficult for myself, honey. Don't try this at home. But we made it. And I'm going to go ahead and tie a knot in this before. Oh, I'll tie a knot in it. I almost didn't finish that, just by the skin of my teeth. I'm gonna tie a little knot there. Okay, so now we have our little cuff. Okay, boom. And let's get to the next part of this. All right, we can take out our our stitch markers, and we're going to flip our sock inside out. I'm going to flip it inside out, and then we're going to take our cuff and we're going to put this back part. I'm going to flip that inside out as well, but we'll take it and we'll put it inside of the sock, and we're going to try to match these up. Okay, like this. And then what we're going to do is, for me, you can use your darning needle and go back and forth all the way around, but for me, I'm going to slip stitch all the way around the edge of the sock. So I'm going to start at 22, and I'm going to start anywhere I want, and I'm going to slip stitch all the way around. Let's get some yarn. Pull it through those two loops, stitches, boom, tighten that up, and then I'm going to slip stitch into every stitch. Oops, I did a single crochet. I'm sorry, you guys. That's gonna stay there as well. I'm gonna slip stitch. Slip stitching is going through the stitch, pulling up a loop, and pulling that loop through the loop that was on your hook. So again, through the two, pull up a loop, pull it through. This is gonna give it kind of this seamless type of look. The slip stitch does. It actually looks rather good. So you want to make sure you're going through each and every one, because we already counted 40 all around, so we're just going to end up going 40 slip stitches, or you're going to go through each two 40 times. Okay, so you can meet me back when you have gone around the edge of your entire sock. With the completing the ankle. And see how that is? And so the inside is going to look pretty darn good. Okay, we slip stitched all around the edge. I'm going to cut my yarn, tighten it up, and flip this bad baby back inside out to see what we did. Hold on. Okay. Oh my gosh, I did mine. But it's okay. So we flipped it inside out. Make sure I tighten up these strings here. I'm gonna go ahead and tie a knot here so we can tighten it up in the front. But yeah, so I'll hide those in a minute. But boom, we have our moccasin. And see, I'll probably, okay, I was about to say, now what is that? I'll have to hide that a little bit better. Okay, I was about to say, so that was just some loose string from when we, so this is how it looks, guys. Boom. But we're not finished yet. We can do the exciting, the cutesy part. So basically what we're about to do next is we're going to put our little, you know, fringe on the edge of our socks, our slippers. Isn't it so cute? So stay tuned so we can do that. And then we have the pair of the cutest slippers. Okay, so I got this cardboard box. It's about 4 inches wide. And what we're going to do is we're going to make the fringe by wrapping the string around. You want to do it 40 times because you want 40 pieces. But I'm probably going to do more because I want to make sure I have all the colors. But we're going to wrap it around here 40 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 27, 28, 29, 30, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40. Yeah, I need more color because I'm going to use my color, but you want to do 40. I'd say do 45 just to make sure you have enough, but I need that color from the blue to the turquoise. I need all of them. So after you finish making your strings, what you're gonna do is, goodness, it's a lot of purple. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut right down the center of those strings, just like that. And now you have your yarn to work with. I'll probably save these to use on something else. Maybe I'll give somebody a pair of these. But you are going to okay, sorry about that. But now we're going to go around 40. Remember, we have 40 on this, and we are going to put one strand of our strip through each stitch, like that. Tighten it up. I'll do that again. And so I'm going to fold it in half. We're going to go to the next stitch, which is right here. We're going to hook it, pull it through, grab both strings, pull it through all the way. That way we have our fringe. Okay, so we're going to do that all the way around. You know, I'm going between colors, so I'm going to do purple next. That's why I did so much. You may not have to do this much because you might just have one color, but when you have these patterns, it's hard to get to the colors that you want. I had to unravel a lot of strings to get to the colors that I wanted. There it goes. But that's what you're going to do all the way around, guys, until you're finished. One more here. Pull it through. Grab those two, pull them through, tug it. If it's too, you know, you can always even them out at the end like that. But let's do that all the way around. Meet me back here when you're finished. And this is how it looks. They're super, super cute. So versatile. You can make so many different colors and styles. You can leave them without the fringe, but I love these fringe. It's so cute. You can also do a matcher stitch up the front so that you won't have the single crochet stitch at the front, but I love that too. But until next time, you guys, bye.